Hello guys, Panzermeister36 here. Today's video is going to be a little bit of an unexpected product review. If you're on my Facebook page, you already know exactly what happened, but basically, about 2 months ago, I ordered on eBay another set of these R-model tracks that I've reviewed on the channel before, and I think they're great. I'll link the video in the top corner if you want to see it, but basically these are an excellent alternative to free model tracks. They're about a little bit more than half the price, honestly, and with the add-on of a little bit more money, which brings the total cost of the whole set to a little bit, maybe a little bit less or equal to free model tracks. You can get these pre-cut pins. So you get these tracks that are already drilled out, no re-drilling required, as is common with free model. And you get the pre-cut pins, which you just toss in the tracks, and assembly of 2 full runs is like half an hour. It's insanely fast, and it's amazing. So these are excellent tracks. And since I used them on my Panzer KV1 you saw last week, I decided to buy another set because I have another KV1 I want to build soon. So yes, I ordered these on eBay. This was the picture in the listing, and if you look at the package, you can see here we got the set number 35023, which is what is on this, and it says R model. This is the KV1 tracks, and on here they've added a different number, CZ35001, and what I received is CZ35001, which is a company I've never even heard of before, and they have 0 online presence, and they are either a brand new company, which is possible because 001 is often the first release in 35th scale, so that's possible, or they're some kind of knockoff company. But this is Chuangzheng-Model. I'm going to stick with CZ model or CZ model. And yeah, this is a metal KV1 track. And I mean, it's not exactly what I paid for, but since it's here, I figured we would do a review before I ship them back and tell the guy to send me these. At first glance here, the CZ model tracks are in appearance the same kind of thing, because if you look at the other side, we've got metal tracks, and also in the box here you can see we have some pre-cut pins, but they're not the same because they're copper plated tracks and they have pin marks on them, which is honestly quite an impressive feat to achieve, pin marks on a cast white metal track, but I don't know. Now let's take a little bit of a closer review of these. So at first glance, it's much more professional than our model, which comes in a cardboard folded bag with this stretched JPEG of a KV1 and some broken English there that's trying to say "Great Miracle." The box is much more professional. The English is mostly correct. It's got this nice folding cover, ooh. And then inside we have a bag that consists of everything. So we have the tracks and also the pre-cut pins. At least these are equivalent to the R model tracks in that you get tracks and pre-cut pins. The pins themselves are a little bit different than the R model ones I had before. The R model ones actually come in pairs of pins, so each one's about half length, and you just stick them in either side. These are full length pins, so you only have to put one in per pair of track links, I assume. So that might speed up a little bit more, but already the R model tracks are insanely fast to build because there's no cleanup and no cutting of the pins. You just toss it in. So this is at least a positive thing that came in my package. But the tracks themselves, if you can see in the bag here, first of all, they're copper plated, which is a little bit bizarre because copper is more expensive than white metal, and if they're already white metal inside, as we'll see later, why would you coat them in copper anyways? Just leave them white metal. I don't know. But yes, this is the product, the tracks. So here's a pair of the CZ model tracks. And you can see definitely there is a big pin mark on one side. This side has nothing, but there's just one big pin mark right there. And I have no idea how they even managed that, because there's basically 2 reasons why you buy metal tracks. The first one is they are metal, so they behave like the real one. They have nice sag like on their own because they're heavy. You can use chemical solutions on them, and you can even sand them at the end to expose metal to simulate the worn edge. And the second reason is there's no pin marks on them because they're not made of plastic. Well, these, I don't even know, okay? How do they manage to get pin marks on a cast metal track? Maybe it's to do with the plating process, but it's just a little bit disappointing. Somebody on my Facebook page mentioned that they might have cast these from a plastic track as a reference, as like that's the I think they made the mold off of, and they left the pin mark on the plastic track. That's possible. I have really no idea though. It's a little bit disappointing. Apart from that though, the holes are cleanly cut or drilled all the way through, and the tracks look to be very well, like there's no flash or anything. There's no flash in any other ones I've looked at. They are equivalent to the R model ones, which are right here, in basically every way. Apart from, of course, the pin mark, which the R model tracks right here obviously don't have. So they're basically the same product. They're pre-cut pins in the bag. They're drilled all the way through. They're very nicely cast. But then the CZ model ones have a big pin mark, and they're covered in copper plating. And at first I thought that these were actually pure copper because they are significantly lighter than a typical white metal track. And I mean, if you drop this, listen, sounds like plastic or anything. These sound like coins. It's hilarious. I did some investigation, and because I might have to send these back according to eBay's return policy, my legal team has advised me to mention that this track link came in the bag broken, and I definitely did not have to break it in half using this pair of pliers right here. This was 100% not me breaking this link to see what was inside. So if you can see, kind of, yeah, you can probably see there's clearly a different metal on the inside because it looks like normal metal over there. But these are, because of the copper plating, which is quite thick, these are incredibly hard to break or bend. I mean, I was curious about the plating, so I took a hobby knife blade and started to kind of stab it to see if I could scrape it off. Nothing. So, hypothetically, I would have had to use a very hefty pair of pliers like this right here to, you know, even hope at breaking these things open. Alright, so I'm curious also if these will take any blackening solution. So I'm going to take the already broken one, and I'm going to just test it with some blackening solution I have on hand. Alright, so I've put a little bit of the Wilder blackening solution in with the broken track link here, and it appears to be taking it well. There's some air bubbles because I didn't put very much in, but I mean, they are blackening up. They've only been in there for about 5 minutes. So I presume that you can use blackening solution with these, and it does make sense because also in the R model set of pins, one of the pin halves, I think these ones here, they are also copper, while these ones are metal. Not sure why. Actually, you can see it there. And when I blackened the entire track solution with the pins in there, the pins also got blackened up when I did the previous R model tracks on my KV1. So I presume that these are going to take blackening solution perfectly fine. But one of the great benefits of having a metal track is that you can actually, after you've blackened it, because it's usually looking like this, or painted it even, you can take some sandpaper and rub over the exposed edges, and you'll get some realistic wear that looks like exposed polished metal. Well, you can't do that on these because you're going to see copper instead of a realistic, like actual like steel alloy, as they would be in real life. They would be some kind of steel alloy. So that's another con. So yeah, that's kind of my review here. So overall, I'm not entirely impressed by these, as you can probably tell, especially because I didn't pay for these. I paid for the nicer R model tracks. If I take an objective look at it, they are nice metal tracks. They have the pre-cut pins, which are always amazing, and they're well cast. But the downsides are that they have the obvious pin mark on them, which is going to be hard to sand away because the copper finish is insanely durable. And they also don't allow you to polish the edges after blackening or painting to expose a natural metal polished edge effect to simulate some wear and tear. So They're basically our model tracks, which is what I paid for, but not as good. And that's about it. So, that's my review for you guys today. I'm not going to mention the eBay seller because I've gotten in contact with them. It was some seller in China, and they're a fairly well-known seller, and they sell lots of kits, and they have good reviews. And I've gotten in contact with them, and they're like, you know, send us some photos of what you got. And it might entirely just be a mistake. We will see. I don't think I got scammed yet. It could be an entirely, you know, accidental problem. But if they refuse, then I might have to put their name in the video description, or maybe even in the video title, where everybody can see it, because this is kind of unacceptable that I paid a lot of, well, not a lot of money, but a decent amount of money because they're metal tracks, and I got some copper tracks. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's something. At least I'll be able to use these pins in the future, maybe. So we'll see. So anyways, I will see you guys next time with another video. Until then, thank you for watching and commenting, and also a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Those guys give me a little bit of money every month, which helps me buying products to review, like for example these, which is a little bit disappointing honestly, but whatever. Thank you for your support, Patrons, it's much appreciated. So until next week, goodbye, happy modeling, and stay safe out there, guys. See ya.